Hello friends, there are so many people who have been trading for years. Days pass by, months slip away, years go on, but their trading habits remain the same. The same mistakes are repeated over and over. Sometimes greed consumes them, sometimes fear holds them back. And the most painful thing is how much precious time in life slips away, yet success never comes. But friends, today I've brought for you a book whose praise I can't do enough justice. The book's name is Day Trading, a 21-day step-by-step guide to invest like a real professional day trader, written by Kreil. Friends, inside this book, you'll find those secrets, some hidden formulas that new traders can't even imagine. This book doesn't just give you knowledge, it provides a 21-day roadmap, a journey that can change your trading habits from the inside out. And the most exciting part is that from this book, I've extracted for you 10 such formulas from those 21 days. If you incorporate them into your trading life, I can say with certainty that your trading will never be the same again. Your decisions will change. Your discipline will change. And most importantly, you'll learn to live trading not like a hobby or gambling, but like a professional. So friends, don't make the mistake of skipping this audio, because what you're about to hear could change the direction of your trading and your life forever. Now, we're about to take the first step in this grand 21-day journey. And this first step is so powerful that if you absorb it into yourself, it could completely change the direction of your trading. Friends, the name of the first formula is Discipline is Destiny. Now you might be wondering why discipline is such a big factor in trading. But let me tell you a dark truth. Every year, millions of traders enter the market with dreams of getting rich quick. Their eyes sparkle. They stare at charts, watch YouTube videos, join Telegram groups. But the reality is that 90% of those traders give up within a year. Why? Because they never understood the power of discipline. People search for strategies, shortcuts, chase signals. But when the real battlefield, the stock market, comes, their habits betray them. Their fingers impulsively hit buy or sell. Their mind gets trapped in fear and greed, and their pockets empty out. Now think, if trading were so easy that you just pick a strategy and money starts raining, wouldn't every other person in the world be a millionaire? In reality, trading isn't just a game of strategies, it's a game of discipline. Friends, discipline sounds boring. It's the thing people ignore. People think, I'm smart. I'll beat the market. What do I need rules for? But the truth is that victory comes not from smartness, but from discipline. Let me tell you a story. There was a trader who tried every strategy for years: scalping, swing, options, futures. Every time he started excited, but within days, everything went wrong. Why? Because every time he broke his rules, he wouldn't set a stop loss or would remove it midway. For him, discipline was a burden. The result? Years passed, capital sank, and the sparkle in his eyes was gone forever. Now look at a rich trader in the same place. He looks boring. He does the same thing every day: morning chart analysis, risk calculation, filling the trading journal. He doesn't seek excitement. He doesn't trade for thrills. But friends, in trading, boring is profitable. The rich trader looks boring, but that boring routine makes him consistent money. Discipline means resisting temptation. Discipline means sticking to your rules even when the market tempts you. Discipline means repeating your habits every day, no matter how small they seem. Kreil, in his book Day Trading, a 21-day step-by-step guide, writes that any trader's true destiny is determined by their discipline. Strategies can change, the market can change, but if discipline is strong, the trader never loses. Now think why discipline is so difficult. Because discipline is boring. Discipline doesn't give thrills. Discipline forces you to repeat those small steps over and over, and the human mind wants thrills, excitement. That's why a new trader makes the same mistake every time. He chases thrills and ignores discipline. But friends, if you've absorbed this first formula into your blood, you'll stand firm in any market storm. Now ask yourself, how many times have you taken an impulsive trade without thinking? How many times have you thought to take less risk today, but put everything on the line due to greed? How many times have you removed your stop loss thinking the market will turn, and what was the result every time? This is all a lack of discipline. And until discipline is born inside you, the market will punish you over and over. Discipline may be boring, but remember, these boring habits give you extraordinary results. There's no shortcut here, no magic strategy. The market only rewards those who are loyal to their rules. Now let me give you a powerful visualization. Imagine you're a swordsman facing a vast battlefield. You have a sword, but to wield it, you must practice daily. If you skip practice, in the real battle, your sword will feel heavy. The market is such a war. Discipline is your weapon. If you sharpen it daily, you can defeat any enemy. But if you ignore it, the first strike will knock you down. And friends, this is the first formula. Discipline is destiny. If in these 21 days you change just one habit, and that's the habit of discipline, I can give it to you in writing. Your trading will completely change. But this is just the beginning. Discipline is only the first door. After passing through this door, you'll see another deep truth. A truth that both scares and builds every trader. Do you want to know what that truth is? So friends, get ready, because in the next formula, we're going to reveal the secret connected to the darkest corners of your mind. And if you hear this, you might never look at the market with the same eyes again. You've often heard that in the stock market, the biggest enemy isn't another person, not a broker, not an operator, not an insider trader. Your real enemy is always sitting inside you, and that enemy's name is fear and greed. Friends, if discipline is trading's first weapon, then emotion control is the armor for that weapon. Discipline shows you the path, but if emotions dominate that path, you'll stumble over and over. Anthony Kreil, in his book Day Trading, a 21-day step-by-step guide, says that every new trader makes the same mistake. They focus on charts, signals, and indicators, but never learn to fight those two monsters sitting in their mind, and that's where their defeat begins. Now think, you've bought a stock. At first, it goes up, and your heart starts racing. You think, wow, jackpot. Let's hold a bit more and increase the profit. That's greed taking over. Then suddenly the market turns, the stock falls, and your profits vanish. Now fear grips you. You panic and sell at the wrong place. Result: no profit, no money, just frustration. This cycle happens every day with every new trader. And this is what the second formula teaches us. If you can't control the fear and greed inside you, the market will punish you over and over. Now friends, let's go deeper. What is fear? Fear is the dread of losing. Fear is the terror of losing money. Fear is avoiding a trade thinking it might result in loss. But have you ever noticed? The more you fear, the more opportunities you lose. The market never rewards traders who live in constant fear. On the other side is greed. Greed is the hunger for more earnings. Greed is, let's hold a bit more, the profit will double. Greed is ignoring risk and placing big bets. But greed's outcome is always the same: loss. Anthony Kreil says that a successful trader isn't the one who finds the best strategy. A successful trader is the one who recognizes their emotions, accepts them, and still makes the right decision despite them. Now let me give you a powerful visualization. Imagine two monsters living inside you. One is named fear, the other greed. These two monsters whisper in your ear every time. When the market goes up, greed says, "Come on, hold a bit more. The real fun is yet to come." And when the market falls, fear says, "Run. Everything will sink." If you keep listening to both, they won't let you stay stable. But what does a rich trader do? They hear the voices, but don't obey. They recognize these two monsters and keep them under control. They always follow the plan, no matter how much fear screams or greed tempts. Now a question for you. How many times have you not taken a perfect setup just because of fear? How many times have you not exited with profit and held due to greed, losing everything? How many times have you thought, today will be a big profit, and the next moment, everything zeroed out? If this has happened, it's a defeat to emotions. A rich trader knows there's only one way to fight fear and greed: rules and systems. They have predefined stop-loss. They have a fixed risk-reward ratio, and they never break rules for emotions. Friends, this sounds simple, but in reality, it's the hardest task. The market tests you every day. Every day, a new temptation, a new fear arises. But if you've learned to control yourself, you'll win every time. A rich trader once said, "To win in the market, you have to win against yourself." And this is the real essence of the second formula. But friends, this is just half the story. Controlling fear and greed isn't enough, because the market doesn't just play with emotions. It plays with mindset and habits too. And this is the deep truth we need to understand in the third formula. Because in the third formula, We're going to explore the secret that will take your trading journey to the next level. What's the biggest illusion in trading? You know, people think if they get a better strategy, if they find some secret indicator, if someone gives them an insider tip, their life will change. But friends, this is the biggest lie. The market isn't controlled by any indicator or secret strategy. The only way to control the market is to reset your mindset. And this is the third formula: mindset reset and identity shift. Now you might be wondering what identity has to do with trading. But think, if you consider yourself a new trader, your decisions will be like that. You'll look for shortcuts. You'll chase thrills. You'll be hasty. But if you consider yourself a professional trader, your decisions will change. You'll learn patience. You'll follow rules. You'll trust the system. That is, before changing your trading results, your thinking and identity must change. Anthony Kreil says that successful trading isn't a skill, it's an identity shift. And this is why most people repeat the same mistakes for years in the market. Their identity never changed. Now let me tell you a dark truth. Many traders behave like gamblers in the market. For them, every trade is a lottery ticket. They think maybe this trade will hit the jackpot. But guess what? The jackpot never comes. Because a gambler's identity always ruins them. Now look at the other side, a professional trader. Their identity is different. They treat every trade as a business decision. They never trade based on emotions. They know one trade can't change their life, but thousands of disciplined trades can. So friends, the third formula says this: if you want to succeed in trading, first ask yourself, what is my real identity? Who am I? A gambler or a professional trader? Now rewind your journey. How many times have you told yourself, just this time, a big profit, then everything will change? How many times have you convinced yourself? I'll learn, let's take the risk this time. But every time the same loss, the same frustration, the same guilt. Why? Because deep down, you still see yourself as a gambler. Your identity never changed. A rich trader knows that if they want consistency in the market, they have to completely reset their thinking. They remind themselves every day that they are a professional. They execute every trade according to their rules and plan, and this thinking sets them apart from the crowd. Friends, mindset reset doesn't just mean positive thinking. Mindset reset means changing your identity. There's no shortcut here. Every time you follow discipline, every time you control emotions, every time you trade according to rules, you strengthen your identity, and this identity becomes your destiny. Anthony Kreil says that the market always shows what you think. If your mindset is that of a gambler, the market will treat you that way. If your mindset is professional, the market will slowly start rewarding you. So friends, the third formula teaches this: change your thinking first, then the market will change. Now I want you to imagine a powerful scene. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. In the mirror, you see two faces. One is the gambler's, tired, scared, filled with greed. The other is the professional trader's, calm, disciplined, focused. You have to choose every day who you're going to be. Your every habit, every decision, every trade is part of this choice. And friends, this choice will write your destiny. But the story doesn't end here. After mindset reset comes the formula that will give structure to your trading. The formula that will give you daily routines, habits without which no professional trader can survive. Do you want to know what that daily structure is? So friends, get ready, because in the fourth formula, we'll reveal the secret that will change your trading not just from thinking, but from action. You've heard that success never comes in one night. Success is always the gift of those small steps you repeat every day. But this is the biggest problem. Most traders never build structure in their life. They open charts as soon as they wake up. Sometimes pick a tip from a WhatsApp group. Sometimes try a strategy seen in a YouTube video. Their day passes in randomness, and at the end of the day, all that's left is frustration and guilt. Friends, this is the dark truth. Random habits give random results. Anthony Kreil, in his book Day Trading, a 21-day step-by-step guide, says that a trader's real success isn't hidden in strategy, but in their daily structure. Consistency in the market comes only to those whose daily routine becomes a system itself. So friends, this is the fourth formula. Daily structure, system is success. Now think, you go to a gym. The trainer says if you want to build a body, you have to do the same sets and reps every day. But you do push-ups one day, skip running the next, eat pizza in your diet the third day. Will you get results? Zero. Because the body is built only from consistency. Trading is exactly like that. If you follow discipline sometimes and not others, results will never come. The market only rewards those whose daily structure is ironclad. Imagine a rich trader's day. They don't randomly open charts in the morning. They have a fixed routine. They do pre-market analysis. They calculate risk. They write every trade in the journal. And at the end of the day, they review what they did right and what mistakes. They do all this every day. Whether the market gives excitement or boredom, they don't skip their routine. Now look at a new trader. As soon as they wake up, they start looking for trades and excitement. They have no written plan. They enter trades without stop loss. They don't write journals because they think it's a waste of time. And this random lifestyle is the root of their ruin. Friends, if you really want to make trading a career, you have to build a structure that you follow religiously. Daily structure turns you from a gambler to a professional trader. But why isn't this so easy? Because the human mind runs from structure. Discipline feels boring. Routine feels monotonous. But this monotony makes you extraordinary. Anthony Kreil says that successful traders always look boring. Their life isn't filled with thrills. Their life is filled with habits and repetition. But this repetition gives them freedom and wealth. So friends, the fourth formula says this: your system is your success. If you don't have a system, the market will punish you over and over. But if you have daily structure, no market unpredictability can shake you. Now let me have you imagine a powerful picture. Imagine you're standing in a fort. Outside the fort is a vast horde of enemies. The enemy attacks repeatedly, but the fort doesn't fall. Why? Because its walls are strong. Those walls are your daily structure. If the walls break, the fort will collapse. But if the walls stay intact, no matter how many attacks, you'll stand firm. Now friends, this question is for you. Do you have a daily routine in trading? Do you do pre-market analysis every day? Do you write every trade in a journal? Do you have a fixed system for risk calculation? If not, remember, you're still standing in the field without a fort. A rich trader never starts the day without structure. Their habits are so deep that they become automatic. They don't depend on emotions, they depend on the system. And this is the real secret. The market is unpredictable, but your system should be predictable. The market can change, but your structure will protect you from every change. So friends, the fourth formula teaches this: system is success. If we consider discipline and mindset as the engine, daily structure is its fuel. Without it, no trading journey can be completed. But the story doesn't end here, because after building daily structure comes the biggest challenge: the game of patience and waiting. Yes, friends, the next formula will introduce you to the secret of how professional traders learn to wait, and how that waiting makes them rich. So friends, get ready, because in the fifth formula, we're going to reveal the secret that can change your trading journey forever. What's the most dangerous thing in the market? You know, it's not loss. It's not a wrong strategy. The most dangerous thing is impatience. Yes, friends, that same impatience that runs in every new trader's blood. The restlessness to trade quickly, take profit quickly, double money quickly. And this impatience digs their grave. Anthony Kreil says that the market is actually a psychological battlefield. Here, the one who knows how to wait wins. The market never rewards the person in a hurry. The market always rewards the one who can wait for the right opportunity. But this is the hardest skill: patience. Friends, let me tell you a dark truth. 95% of traders don't fail because they don't know strategies. They fail because they can't wait. For them, every candle looks like an opportunity. Every small movement looks like a jackpot. They stare at charts like a slot machine. And then in impatience, they take the trade that ruins them. Now think of a fisherman. He's sitting by the sea with a net in hand. He knows the big fish will come only when the tide is right. If he throws the net in haste, only small fish will get caught. But if he has patience, at the right time, he'll get that one big fish that beats all others. Trading is exactly like that. You don't need to take every trade, just the right trade. Look at a new trader. He sits on the chart and wants action on every 5-minute candle. He thinks more trades mean more profit, but he doesn't understand that more trades just mean more mistakes. Now look at a rich trader. He can watch charts for hours without trading, because he knows patience itself is a position. For him, the trade being right is more important than trading. He waits for that one opportunity that perfectly aligns with his system and rules. And when that opportunity comes, he takes action without hesitation. Friends, the fifth formula says this: patience is profit. Waiting isn't weakness, it's the greatest strength. The market will test every day whether you trade quickly or trade right. The market will tempt you on every movement. But if you wait, you'll stand apart from the crowd. Now look at your journey. How many times have you told yourself, let's take this trade? Maybe it's a jackpot. How many times have you taken pointless trades just to kill boredom? How many times have you thought, better to do something than nothing? And the result, always loss. Remember, friends, doing nothing in the market is also a decision. Patience isn't just waiting. Patience is victory over your impulses. Patience is controlling your restlessness. Patience is shutting that inner voice that says, enter now or the opportunity will slip. A rich trader's heart also jumps sometimes. He also feels greed and fear. But he has the power that a new trader doesn't: patience. He controls that urge. He tells himself, if this trade slips, no problem. The market will be here tomorrow. I'll wait for the right opportunity. And this thinking makes him rich. Anthony Kreil says that patience isn't just a skill. Patience is survival. The market doesn't leave alive the person who wants to pull the trigger every moment. The market rewards the one who knows when to do nothing. Now, friends, I want you to imagine a scene. You're standing in a battlefield with a bow in hand. Thousands of enemies in front. But you don't release the arrow immediately. You wait for that right angle. That right moment when your one arrow will drop the enemy straight. This is patience. If you shoot arrows every moment, soon you'll run out. But if you wait, the value of every arrow increases tenfold. So friends, the fifth formula says this: patience is the ultimate edge. Strategies can be with everyone. Indicators can be with everyone. Capital can be with everyone. But patience isn't with everyone. And this patience sets you apart from the crowd. So friends, the fifth formula taught you that patience is profit. But the story doesn't end here, because the market always changes. Today's trend can break tomorrow. Tomorrow's strategy can become useless the day after. History is witness that traders who remained rigid lost everything, and those who learned to change themselves became legends. So friends, in the sixth formula, we'll reveal the secret that will teach you the power to change with the market. And I assure you, if you understand this formula, you'll never be a victim of the market. Instead, you'll become a player who wins in every situation. The market always changes. It never stays the same, and this is its most dangerous feature. People think if they've learned one strategy, their work is done. But friends, this is the biggest illusion. The market uses that same strategy against the trader who created it. Yes, the market spares no one. Anthony Kreil says that a trader's greatest strength isn't strategy, it's their adaptability. That is, the ability to change. A rigid trader dies. A flexible trader survives. Remember Darwin's principle, survival of the fittest. But fittest doesn't mean strongest. Fittest means the one who can change the quickest survives. The market is exactly like that. Now think, friends, how many traders have you seen who say this strategy is my life? This indicator can never fail. This pattern is my weapon. And then suddenly the market takes everything from them. Why? Because the market stood against their trust. The market changed shape. A new trader often makes this mistake. He gets stuck on one strategy. He becomes rigid. He tells himself, no, this will work. The market is wrong. But friends, the truth is the market is never wrong. The market is always right. We're wrong when we refuse to change. Now look at a rich trader. He knows the market isn't anyone's property. Trend today, sideways tomorrow. News-driven volatility the day after. A rich trader isn't rigid. He adjusts his strategy with every situation. For him, adaptability is the edge. Friends, let me tell you a dark truth. Most people who fail in trading don't go bankrupt because they lacked money. They fail because they refuse to change themselves. They tried to fight the market, but no one wins a fight with the market. The market is an ocean. If you stand like a rigid rock, the waves will break you. But if you become flexible like water, you'll flow with the waves to your destination. Now think of a bamboo tree. A storm comes. Winds blow hard. Rigid trees break. But bamboo bends. It sways. It adjusts. And after the storm passes, the same bamboo stands tall. In trading, being bamboo is adaptability. Anthony Kreil says that adaptability isn't just changing strategy. Adaptability means changing at every level. Sometimes you'll have to change your risk approach, sometimes your time frame, sometimes your tools and methods, and sometimes your own thinking. That is, adaptability is part of a trader's entire life. Now, friends, understand another mistake of a new trader. He thinks if he took a loss once, that strategy is useless. He keeps searching for new strategies every time. He changes market gurus every day. He's not adapting. He's just strategy hopping, and this is his ruin. Adaptability means changing systematically, with observation, with logic, with data. A rich trader reads his journal every time. He sees what phase the market is in and then makes calculated changes in his system. This controlled adaptability sets him apart from the crowd. Now let me show you a scary picture. Imagine you're trading in the 2008 crisis. The market is crashing. Blood everywhere. A rigid trader screams, "No, the market will go up again. I'll hold." And the market swallows him whole. But an adaptable trader understands the game has changed. He changes his strategy. He shorts. He hedges. He shifts to cash, and that trader survives. History is witness that adaptability has separated winners and losers. Friends, the sixth formula says this: adapt or die. The market doesn't care about your ego. The market doesn't care about your comfort zone. The market follows only one rule: the one who can change will survive. Now the question is, are you a rigid trader clinging to old ways? Or are you that adaptable trader who can change themselves in any situation? But the story doesn't end here, because learning adaptability is necessary, but after that comes the formula that will teach you execution. Yes, friends, in the seventh formula, we'll talk about the secret that determines every trader's fate. When the right opportunity comes, how to take action without hesitation. And believe me, if you miss the seventh formula, your entire journey might remain incomplete. So friends, get ready, because the next formula will put in your hands the sword that will prove a decisive strike in the market's battlefield. The trading world is a battlefield. Here you've worn your armor, discipline. You've picked up your shield, risk management. You've reset your mind, built structure, learned patience, developed adaptability. But think, if in war you have all weapons but can't strike the enemy, if the enemy is standing in front, the opportunity is clear, but with trembling hands you pull the bow and lack the courage to release the arrow, what good are the rest? This is execution. Without execution, all formulas are just words written in books. The thing that makes the real difference in the market is action. Friends, what's the biggest mistake of a new trader? He either over-executes, pulling the trigger everywhere, entering on every candle, or under-executes, freezing when the right opportunity comes, overthinking, and letting the opportunity slip. And in both cases, the loss is his. Now look at a rich trader. He has a clear system. He waits patiently, but as soon as his setup confirms, he executes without a moment's delay. He doesn't get trapped in greed or fear. For him, execution isn't a debate, it's a reflex. Anthony Kreil says, "A trader is only as good as his last execution." That is, how much you've learned, how many books you've read, how many mentors you've met, all useless if you didn't execute right at the right time. Now friends, let me tell you a dark truth. In the market, there are many traders who had good setups, right signals, but didn't execute. Why? Because they got scared. Because they told themselves, maybe this trade will fail. Because they waited for perfection, and the market is never perfect. The market will remain imperfect, but execution is needed. What does execution mean? Execution means when your system gives a signal, take action without hesitation. Execution means don't overtrade nor freeze. Execution means enter and exit every time according to your plan, even if fear grips you inside. Now imagine a soldier. He's standing on the battlefield. He's trained. He has weapons. He's made a strategy too. But when the enemy comes in front, he fears pulling the trigger. What will happen? That soldier will be killed. In trading, it's the same. Execution keeps you alive. A new trader often can't execute because two demons sit inside him: fear and doubt. Fear says, what if loss happens? Doubt says, maybe the setup isn't that good. Let's wait a bit more. And in that wait, the opportunity slips. Or greed makes him over-execute. He pulls the trigger everywhere and destroys himself. A rich trader knows execution must be emotionless. He executes every trade like a surgeon performs an operation. Cold, calculated, precise, neither hasty nor late. Just according to the plan. How does execution develop? It doesn't come in one day. It comes from repetition, daily practice, journaling, self-review, and most importantly, following rules without breaking them. Anthony Kreil says that a trader's real identity isn't from what he knows, but from what he executes. Friends, the biggest secret of execution is that you have to end the search for the perfect trade in your mind. A perfect trade never happens. Every trade has risk. Every trade has uncertainty. But if your system has given the signal, you must take action. Execution means imperfect action at the right time. Now let me give you a powerful imagery. Imagine you're a swordsman. A duel is in front. You know the perfect strike might never come. But if you don't strike at the right time, the enemy will cut you. Execution means showing decisiveness even in an imperfect moment. Another aspect of execution is exit. Yes, friends, not just entry. Exit is also part of execution. A new trader often misses exit. He thinks, let's take a bit more profit, or doesn't cut loss because he hopes the market will return. But a rich trader doesn't do that. For him, exit is as precise an execution as entry. He exits without ego, without emotions. And this is his strength. Execution is also a kind of surrender to the process. You design your system, test it, trust it. And when the system says execute, you just execute, without questions, without debate. This is surrender execution. So friends, the seventh formula says this: strike without fear. Opportunities always come in the market, but the difference between winners and losers is decided by execution. Winners don't hesitate. Winners don't overreact. Winners just execute in a cold and calculated way. But the story doesn't end here, because after execution comes the formula that will give you longevity in trading. Yes, friends, in the eighth formula, we'll talk about consistency, the art of building big wins from small steps. And I promise you, if you understand this formula, your trading journey won't just be survival. It'll be a guarantee of long-term success. So friends, get ready, because the next formula will give a permanent direction to your trading life. Now we've reached the last formula of this entire journey. And this is the formula that can turn every new trader into a millionaire and every millionaire trader into a legend. The eighth formula is consistency, big wins from small steps. Friends, the trading world is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. Here, no one becomes a millionaire from one lucky shot. Here, those who win are the ones who take small, boring, but disciplined steps every day. Consistency is the weapon that takes you from market chaos to certainty. But this is also the hardest formula, because the human mind wants excitement, thrills, quick money, and consistency demands patience, repetition, daily grind. This is why a new trader gets trapped in the consistency trap. He'll write a journal for 2 days, forget on the third. He'll follow the system for a week, look for shortcuts the next, and then say trading isn't for me. A rich trader doesn't do that. A rich trader keeps doing even the boring tasks. He writes the journal every day. He reviews his setups every day. He follows the same process every day, whether profit or loss. And this sets him apart from the crowd. Consistency doesn't mean being perfect. Consistency means sticking to the process even while being imperfect. Imagine a person going to the gym. He can't do a perfect workout every day. Sometimes energy is low, sometimes mood is bad. But if he reaches the gym 5 days a week for years, his body transformation is certain. Trading is exactly like that. Daily small steps bring big results in the long run. Anthony Kreil also says that in the market, the difference between winners and losers isn't knowledge, it's consistency. Because knowledge is with everyone. Everyone can read books. Everyone can take mentors. But very few can do daily consistent practice. The first rule of building consistency is to treat the process as sacred. Your trading journal, your review, your daily routine. This is your worship. If you break it, you're sabotaging your own growth. The second rule of consistency is celebrating small wins. Every day, if you've followed your rules, that's your victory. Whether profit came or loss, that's secondary. Primary is that you've completed your process, and this process will one day take you where you've always wanted to go. Now, friends, let me tell you a dark truth. In the market, 90% of traders get out because of consistency failure. They have knowledge. Sometimes profits come too, but they can't repeat it. They're focused one day, impulsive the next. They're disciplined one week, greed consumes them the next, and the market throws them out. But those 10% who learn consistency become winners because they understand that success doesn't come from one trade. Success comes from thousands of trades. And the foundation of those thousands of trades is consistency. Consistency is boring, but boring is power. Seeing the same charts every day, following the same system, filling the same journal. This boring work gives you extraordinary results. Like a river's flow seems small, but falling on a rock for years, it cuts the rock too. Similarly, consistency is your weapon to break the market. So friends, this is the 8th formula. Consistency, small steps, big wins. If you've embedded this formula in your heart, no market can shake you. Discipline will start you. Risk management will save you. Mindset will give you focus. Structure will guide you. Patience will keep you calm. Adaptability will give you the power to change. Execution will give you action. But consistency will power all of them. Consistency is the glue that joins all formulas to make you a complete trader. And now this journey concludes here. But remember, this isn't the end, it's a new beginning. Now you don't need to hear these formulas. You need to live them. It will take 21 days to build new habits, and those habits will change your life. So friends, if this series has given you value, if you've learned from it, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Comment which formula touched your heart the most, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we'll bring more such journeys that will transform both your trading and life. Remember, the market will always be tough, but if you stay consistent, no power can stop you, because victory always goes to the one who stands till the end. So friends, consistency is the key, and this is the final message of this entire book. Thank you.